I had a request recently to make a tutorial on how to do the cracking combination you can see me doing here. It's a combination of the coachman's crack, followed by a variation on the Hungarian pig drover's crack done in the vertical plane. In this case, the coachman's crack is being used to get the whip into a position from which we can do the Hungarian pig drover's crack comfortably. You can hear that the whip's cracking 3 times in quick succession, and that's due to the S-shaped path that's being followed by the very end of the whip. You can see that just here. I did try using a longer whip for this, but you can see with this 7.5 foot bullwhip that it just stalls after the first crack. So the whip you'll see me using here is a 4.5 foot nylon performance hybrid whip that I found much better suited to this kind of crack. So let's break down the 2 cracks that you need to know in order to do this combination. First is a variation on the Hungarian pig drover's crack, where the whip's cracking 3 times, one after the other, and the coachman's crack, which will be replacing the first crack in the vertical Hungarian pig drovers in order to get the whip into the right position for the rest of the crack. So in order to do the Hungarian pig drovers, you throw the whip out as if you're doing a sidearm flick, and then follow that up immediately with a second crack at 90 degrees to the first. So that's a flick that comes across your body. If you aim to crack the whip on both of these sidearm flicks, then you end up with these cracks forming the first and last of the 3. And then the second one appears in the middle due to the changing direction of the whip. So in order to do this in the vertical plane, it is possible to just try and do it, but it's quite messy, not very comfortable, and it just doesn't look good. So we need something to get us into the right position, and that's going to be the coachman's crack. So you can think of the coachman's crack as being like a regular cattleman's crack, except with an extra delay after the upswing. So that's up, delay, and follow through by pushing up and out. It's controlling this delay and adjusting your follow through that's going to govern where the whip ends up after it's cracked. So a long delay will leave the whip behind you, and you can pair that with an overhand flick like I've done here, which is good, but not quite what we're after. Same goes for the regular coachman's crack. The whip ends up far too far forward for our purposes. What we really want is something in between, where the whip ends up pointing straight up into the air. So that's up, delay, hold that delay, and push straight up, and if you can, push a little bit back. And that allows us to follow up with an overhand flick. We're going to be starting with the whip much higher up than is usual for an overhand flick, so it makes it analogous to the difference between a regular cattleman's crack and what's known as a snake killer. We're going to be starting with the whip much higher up, and we're going to be aiming more towards our feet. So combining those two, our modified coachman's crack and our overhand flick, we should get our finished combination. Okay, and that's it. I hope that was helpful for you, and if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching.